I am floored at the things in which Adam Silver has done throughout his tenure as a commissioner. It has not been as great as people make it out to be. At all. Literally at all. So for those who do not know, Adam Silver had to address the press with a couple of things, most of which did center around the whole Kawhi Leonard debacle with the Clippers. However, he did have a very interesting question that was positioned to him. So another episode, one in which that many of us feels needs to be addressed. And in the attempt of addressing said concern, Adam Silver, for whatever reason, opened his mouth and said something so ridiculous that I cannot believe that he even thought it was a good answer.
It's become very expensive to watch the NBA as a fan, not just going to games, but also to, in order to, there's different streaming services you have to subscribe to. Some of the RSNs are expensive. I'm curious if, I know that there are other points of entry for fans to interact with the NBA. There's social media, and a lot of younger fans, that is how they're experiencing the sport. But I wonder what you think, how much you think about that and how that will shape the next generation of fans.
I think about it a lot. I will say, I saw the story your publication ran. You took all the streaming services and added them up and what those costs would be. I will say I look at it a little bit differently because most people can only consume so many games. I just want, by way of one example, in these new media deals, we're going from essentially 15 exposures on broadcast television to 75 now. So, to the extent somebody wants to put little rabbit ears on their television, you can still get, therefore, 75 marquee games, in essence, for free in the marketplace. I'd say in addition to that, and this is an ongoing issue for the league, there's a huge amount of our content that people can essentially consume for free. This is very much a highlights-based sport, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, any service, the New York Times for that matter, to the extent that your content is not behind a paid firewall. There's an enormous amount of content out there. YouTube, by another example, that is advertising based that consumers can consume. I think this is a new world now of streaming media. I think we're paying a lot of attention to that. It was one of the discussions we had with our media partners. I think not just the cost of the games. And I think most people are conditioned to paying a certain amount for high-value content, but also the discovery of those games. Again, I'm a fan of many different sports, and I think we've all had that experience where you're going to Google to find the game you want to watch because the world's changed. It's not just automatically in the place you thought it would be. So, but ultimately, I'll talk about it in terms of reach, and how you reach your consumers. It's interesting because of the disruption in the regional sports network business. I never would have predicted this was coming 10 years ago, but a lot of our local games are moving back to broadcast television. In fact, we have more games on broadcast television locally than we've had any time in recent history. So, we're continuing to look at it, but ultimate answer is we think a lot about it. We know we have mass appeal. We on a global basis, we're literally reaching billions of people, and we don't want to disenfranchise people by working with partners that are creating price points that make it inaccessible to them.
I want to stop and acknowledge something just briefly. What he stated did not end at the idea of it's a highlight sport. Also, there's several things that he said that I cannot imagine to not have been a concern or something that was brought up before they decided to make these deals. You cannot sit here and tell us that a concern of yours was people being priced out when you further diluted where people could find these games with different subscriptions. That's no way that wasn't a conversation. There's no way that discoverability and the difficulties that would come along with it were not legitimate conversations when, again, you decided to dilute and spread out where people can find these games. There is just no way you want me to believe that for most of many of these viewers' lifetime, the way in which they watched basketball was in one of three, if not all three mediums. League Pass, cable TV, broadcast TV. That has been it. To then introduce streaming services such as Amazon Prime and now NBC's Peacock to believe that that would not make it harder to discover where to find games. Sir, I just don't believe you. I do not believe you. To believe that people would not eventually be priced out, I do not believe you, because those are more subscriptions that people would not have to pay for. Be very mindful that the NBA has already done this. A huge reason why there was a massive dip in viewership, I believe from 2002 to 2003 or 2003 to 2004, is because that's when the TNT deal kicked in and they went from broadcast to cable, and there was a noticeable dip in those numbers. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of things that Adam Silver now is saying the same thing that David Stern said back then. The question wasn't about how your numbers are doing abroad. The question wasn't about where else could we find these games, because responding with that by saying that it's a highlight sport, as a commissioner of the league that has to come up and defend the dropping of ratings every single year, for you to then diminish the product by saying it's nothing more or it's just a highlight sport, I don't understand how the fuck that is even an adequate answer to come out your lips. But that also allows many of us to know, and quite frankly, it does give us a better understanding of the direction in which the NBA has been moving for the better part of the last 10 years. Nothing more but a highlight sport. You're at a point where you're not even incentivizing people to purchase the ability to watch games, because there's so many other ways to watch the sport. I mean, TikTok, Twitter, consume it on Instagram, YouTube, and all for free, because that's where you would go to watch highlights. Here on Playback, what we like to do is make sure that you all understand that it's more than just a highlight sport. So when the NBA season comes back around, which is right around the corner, if you want to enjoy watching full basketball games because you potentially may love the sport more now than Adam Silver does, come over to playback.tv/Lowe's Room, and you'll be able to enjoy it in ways in which I will make sure you get taken care of. The way in which Adam Silver answered that question is crazy. Mark Cuban on Adam Silver calling the NBA a highlight league. Adam definitely whiffed on this one. I can tell you that unless a lot has changed in the last 20 months, he is one of the people standing up for fans in a room where a lot of owners are not. That's interesting, and that may be true. However, the way in which Adam Silver decides to defend fans may not be adequate. Just because he is the thinnest fat person in a room full of fat people does not mean that he's no longer fat, if you catch my drift. So Adam, I don't know what you've been doing, and I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what you may believe is right or wrong, but what I do know is that was the wrong answer. Quite frankly, it was an embarrassing answer. And in all honesty, regardless of how I may feel about you or many others, I believe that you're more intelligent enough to give that as an answer to that question. We sit here every single year and watch the NBA dump money into some bullshit. Just dump money into some bullshit. Just for them to turn around and fuck us over every single year. Every single year they fuck us over. Every single year. Wait. I want to be clear. Remember when Adam Silver... new basketball. Adam Silver. Remember. Let me see. What is the thing where they have it to where you can sit? It seems as if like you're in the arena, where they have like a new perspective, where it seems like you're like at the arena. It's like some like VR. I think they had like they invested into like VR or something like that. Yeah, these things. Look at this shit, baby. All right, nigga. Why are you investing into this? Why? Y'all remember this shit? NBA announced a new app with frightening deepfake technology as fans left staggered. And then they would like scan you into the game, and then you would do a dunk or something like that. And then this shit right here, they'll dump money into this shit. But if you ask them, hey, can you lower the price of some shit? Can you give us some free games to watch? Mum's the word. Nothing. Thank you. Here's the other one.
Ahmad Rashad, please come out. All right, man. Let's see you. All right. Come on. All right, Ahmad. So stand, kind of put your hands down this way a little bit. Right?
Is any of this going to hurt?
No. All right, so this should come up. All right. So now I'm going to walk around you and just scan your body, right?
Yep.
All right. That's an interesting shirt you wore today. Is that the one you're going to wear all morning? That,
We're in Utah. The Jazz wear purple.
you used to wear a suit.
So did the Vikings.
All right, this is almost over. All right, hang in there. I got to step back just to get your full body. All right, Sam, I'm almost done. Almost done. You're up. People see you on the screen. Don't be so nervous.
I'm nervous about you taking a
nervous
step backwards. That'll be the end of it.
All right, smile for a second. Yeah. All right, got it. All right. 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 All right.
Painless.
All right. I got it. All right. So now, in the app, you see where the red that's going, you could choose different players.
Yeah.
So then we're going to pick Horton Tucker. And then where Horton Tucker is, so this will be in a live game, you will be inserted into the game. You'll be making all the same movements he was, but it'll look like it's your body.
Does he have my skills?
We'll see.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and roll that. There's that shirt.
Yeah. That's when I'm done. That's when I'm done.
This is the money that they invested in. This is the shit they be invested in, bro. This the shit that they be just throwing money around, not giving a fuck about us, bro. They don't care. Making airless basketballs that aren't going anywhere. It's so crazy to me that the NBA, y'all had money for years now, doing nothing but upping the player's salary, NBA dumping money into things that no one actually knows what came out of it. Hey, dump it over here to playback, man. Come on now, dog. Do something with the money, though, that aids the fans' ability to watch the games, to enjoy the games. But somehow the fans, the people who have put this league in the position that it's in right now, is at the bottom of the totem pole of benefiting anything that's happening. Same games, same players, same number of games, all of that. We get less effort in the All-Star game while having a comedian tell All-Star players that they suck. We've seen that you all are invested into VR, airless basketballs, being able to scan somebody into the game, and some Vision Pro stuff, but none of it has actually translated into much of anything. So I just think that, brother, y'all have to do better. You have to do better, because if anything, y'all are putting all of us at a significant disadvantage to help promote and push the league as much as we can as fans, and that shouldn't be the case.